Hi guys, Mauricio Viecco, Building Wealth, and we are recording in advance for the next show as we're gonna be out. So remember, every Tuesday, 7:30, you're gonna be getting a lot of information from our amazing guests. And today, I have the pleasure to have with me this amazing human being, professional, friend, and I call him my friend Chino, Roger Cordoba. And Roger, we're going to be exploring today on our show number 16, how to dominate social media. Awesome. And no one better than you to give some tips out there to people that wants to grow their business through social media. And remember guys, don't keep it to yourself. That link, share it with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues, the guys you play soccer with, the guys who go and smoke cigars. Share it because this helps everyone to achieve their next level. And first and foremost, I would like to introduce Roger Cordoba. People know him as Chino. And who's Chino?
So first of all, thank you. It's been a while, brother. It's been a while. I'm so glad to be back on the show. I know, originally it was our show. It's been a while. I've been very busy. I've been behind the scenes. And Chino, in a nutshell, I've always fell in love with marketing many years ago. The idea of magazines, commercials, and being able to build a business with putting some creatives together and custom tailoring a message, it was always intriguing for me, right? It was something that was really hit the soul, and I always wanted to crack the code on it. And here we are, 30 years later. I'm showing off my age. 45 years old, and it all started at an early age, just loving the fact that transforming lives, and there's a lot of design that has always been procured, even since the dawn of time. Logos, iconic type of creations. It has always boiled down to success. It has blew up businesses. You and I know we wear brands, and everything that we look around, someone created that, and I've always been intrigued by that whole notion.
Chino, you're mentioning something very important, transforming lives.
Yes.
And that shows the passion you have for what you do.
Absolutely.
You're transforming lives, and you're right, we wear brands. We are our own brands.
Yes.
And one thing that you and I have spoken many times is about how to create your own brand and how you create that and then use it to grow your business. And I would like to talk a little more about that so people, that is out there not knowing what to do with social media. What's that about creating your own brand?
So if you're watching this right now and you're an independent contractor, you could be a business, you could be aspiring to build something that you want the world to know, right? Once again, going back to who I am, I work with world-renowned brands. UFC, NFL, Sports Illustrated, Goya. So I have the experience, right? And throughout those years, there's a core principle that I have come up with that is universal across the board. It's a foundation that any type of business can use, right, when building a brand. So there's a couple of components that are very important. The first one is building value, right? And value could be in different forms. It could be content, it could be videos, it could be visceral, it could be audio, or you could be reading it. It could be free content. And that ultimately, what that does, if I give you a nugget, if I give you something of value, what happens? You move to the next step, which is we start building relationships. And you and I know that in networking, seminars and brand awareness, when you create that, you start building relationships. Relationships are very important, right? It's the backbone of your business. And once that value becomes implemented and they get a return on investment, essentially what happens is you build trust. And trust is very important. It is at the pinnacle, at the top of the pyramid where trust drives revenue. Because obviously you're solving a problem. And in today's world, if you become, the difference between poor people and rich people, right, is that rich people, they essentially solve problems. And poor people, what they do is they complain about problems, right? So if you become efficient, the larger the problem is that you solve, whether it's getting a home, facilitating a loan, makeup, it could be anything your heart desires. If you do it very well, it becomes something lucrative, and you can trust drives revenue, essentially.
So you have mentioned a couple important things about creating a brand, and basically it all goes to put yourself out there, let people know you, and be a master of what you do, and then will drive the revenue. So you mentioned a couple very important facts, and I would like people to remember that it's not about not only to be out there 100 times a day, it's about creating value so people can trust you because they know you create value, you have something to share that is important.
Sure.
People know that you know about this particular matter that you want to explain or show out there, you know how it's done. You have that knowledge. You're resolving issues on your own field, and that creates revenue.
Yes.
So it's a change, you know.
Yes, it's a chain. It's essentially those are the steps that you, and the ultimate return on investment is that you're getting brand awareness, you're becoming more relevant, right? And then you are also supplying the demand, right? So, and the demand is obviously solving problems. So it's very important to, in the beginning, let's rewind a little bit on how important the brand awareness is. Obviously, you have to develop your brand identity, right? Who you are, what your morals are, who your audience is, what you're trying to convey, the message you're trying to convey to them is very important. If you're on your social media and you're sharing a bunch of things, it's cool. But the thing is that you have to custom tailor that message. If you're trying to talk to an audience and their call to action is specific, then that's when you really have to hone in on what you want to say. The logo says a lot. You're wearing your logo here. I'm not. I'm wearing polo, but a lot of people know me because of my style of the polo and things of that nature. So there's a lot of ways to spin that, right? And the great part about it is digital real estate is free, right? But it's very important that people don't see it that way. They don't want to share their authenticity and be able to relate to people. Things have changed where we can be in multiple platforms in one place, be able to distribute our content, where before, back in the days, you had to pay for distribution, right? You're an artist and you want to get a record deal, right? You have to put in a lot of work so you can get your CD up on a pedestal to sell it. Now, the power is exactly what we're filming this right now. We're distributing content for free on multiple platforms. More people see what you're doing, and people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust, right?
All right.
So, and you were saying before, it's very important to position yourself as the expert. When you and I go to a doctor, do you ask for the credentials? No. You go there, and what is he doing, right? He's asking you what your problems are. You sit down, and he has a notepad, or he's typing in his computer. He's just listening. Well, doc, I don't have no energy. I just, my ankles hurt. I have a little pain here. And what does he do? He writes a prescription, right? So that's exactly what you want to do digitally, but you want to do it on a larger scale. You want to be able to solve more problems. And not at any moment did that doctor furnish some type of credentials. You just trust him, right? You don't ask him what school he went to. The trust is there. So if you create enough content, you give enough value, people are going to come and you're going to become successful Very important. Very important.
Chino, very interesting. A lot of the viewers are probably thinking, how I'm going to start, putting myself out there, creating the right content, creating the right image, so I can get the trust of people and I can generate the revenue that I want. This is why somebody like you is so important. For people that can go, retain your services, and you can explain how it's done successfully. Put it like that. When I started, I would have saved so much energy and time if I would have started with a professional like you, instead of being just, trying different things for months, for years, until I found the right thing. And I still, learning from everything you say. I'm like a sponge. I hear a lot. The question would be somebody that wants to start right now. Should start with whatever they can, or should first get some advice from a professional like you?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think a lot of people fail because they try to do it their own way. In fact, there's a lot of studies, in real estate alone, about 89% of realtors fail within the first year. And that's because they try to reinvent the wheel, right? If something works, why fix it?
Agreed.
Okay? And the thing is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? It's always the foundational principles, as I said in the beginning, that if you take those, right, and you structure them out in a way that you put the content out of those 5 pieces that you put out, maybe one of them really gets good traction, right? So what most people do, right? Man, that post did great. And they don't post again. They don't do the same thing. They don't double down on that post. So it's all analytics. If you look at Google, information is power. You have to understand that all you have to do is emulate what successful people do. And most people don't do that. They just have to get over the fear factor, or they think they know. And what happens, right? They fail. They get discouraged, and then they say, you know what, this is not for me. But in all reality is that they gave up at the wrong time, and they try to do it their own way, when all they had to do was reverse engineer what works.
Agreed. Most of the people want to start on their own. They don't want to invest on themselves, on their business.
Right.
And I think that's the number one mistake. If we say in the real estate industry, people don't want to invest on themselves.
No.
They want everything,
Handed to them.
or something comes naturally.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you guys, it requires a lot of investment to grow to a certain level. And investing on the right coaching for social media is the way to go. And not only that, to have also a good marketing team that can solve issues, pictures, videos, flyers. And that takes me to my next question, not question, but comment. Chino, you run a very successful marketing company, and I know that a lot of real estate agents look for you to get the videos, to get the pictures. What would you tell to that new agent that is out there looking and comparing with other marketing companies, why they should go with your company? And tell us a little bit more about your company, please.
Well, one of my other companies is in the real estate realm. It's in that space. It's called Virtually Sold NJ. Now, Virtually Sold NJ I launched pre-COVID, where there is a lot of other companies that do such as I do, as which we film listings, we do video walkthroughs, Matterports, and photos. Okay, but what's different with us, and it's been reverberating. I've gotten much return business, new clients because of it. Is that my business comes along with extra coaching. Okay, whereas if you get the run-of-the-mill photographer, they might be great. If you get the run-of-the-mill videographer, they may be awesome, right? But it stops there. They press record, they edit, you never see them again. Where with me, there's a lot of people that are afraid to get in front of the camera. So I coach them. I give them some free coaching in a sense where they have to get out of their own way. Because not everybody likes to be in front of the camera and they don't understand why. So I do have coaching involved. I don't charge in the beginning, but if they want to go further into it, obviously whoever continues to do business with that, it comes along. So it's a compliment, okay? Because there's a lot of realtors that were afraid, and then they didn't know why they were afraid. It's called flight or fight, okay? I told them to breathe, practice breathing. Think about doing an intro with these bullet points. Make it short and sweet, okay? Enjoy yourself. If you're looking at me, I'm the buyer. So I changed their mindset. So I come along as kind of like a life coach as well, and I'm very actively involved in their future endeavors. I'm an open book. There is a lot of extra stuff that comes along than just invoicing them for some photos and some video. It's a continuing what? Relationship. I have relationships, and what does that build? Trust. Once again, it goes back to the foundational principles on how trust drives revenue. And they turn into what I call brand advocates. So, you get one realtor that becomes very successful, was in a nutshell before, couldn't be in front of the camera, that turns into a superstar, starts making 6 figures, this guy takes off, okay? And he's tagging you. He's telling you this is the guy, he's a superstar, he's the greatest guy ever, boom. Before you know it, I have 5 or 6, 7, word of mouth referrals, shaking hands, and now I have more revenue coming in just because I'm giving them coaching and I'm giving them what? Value.
You earn their trust by giving things that nobody else is giving.
Exactly.
And I have to tell you, Chino, you have background, on financials, banking, real estate,
right.
Commercial real estate, the marketing, social media. So who better than you to give all those extra advices to somebody that wants to grow?
Absolutely.
And people out there should be like sponges. You need to really learn everything. Chin is talking to me, and I talk to him every day, and I still learn every time I talk to him here. And I always think about what can be done to get these, new activities to reach out to new levels. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do. That's what we do every day.
Right.
Chino, on that company of yours, correct? Right. You coach, you not only do the marketing, you not only do the social media, you do coaching.
Yes.
And I have to say, one thing that changed my life has been a coach that I have, and shout out to my boy Rene Rodriguez,
right.
who's in Vegas these days, who taught me so much about something that you say, how you look, how you stand. Goes, hey, everybody out there, if you're afraid of the camera, guess what? People, they know how you look. They know how you sound.
Yes.
So if you're afraid because you don't look, like, I don't know, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, whatever.
Right.
Hey, listen, everybody knows how you look.
Right. I always tell my realtor, authenticity is number one. Because what better than being yourself? You're only going to be comfortable in your own skin, right? I think society, I'm going to get a little, political and things of that nature. I think society puts a lot of pressure on us where we're bombarded on social media and we think and feel like we should look like this person or that person. But you see how Mauricio just explained to me that he could talk to me about anything. I'm multi-dimensional, right? And I'm not afraid to share that on my social media. If that's you, if you feel that you're comfortable in your skin, I share about cars, I share about golfing, cigars, drinking. I'm silly, but that's just who I am. You know what I mean? And there's always going to be people that don't like you. Accept that. It's fine. At the end of the day, not everybody's going to like you. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But don't sell yourself short. Because at the end of the day, right, you're doing a disservice to you. Your duty as a business owner is fiduciary responsibility for clients. Okay, you're doing it every day right now on the phone, maybe in a branch, or whatever the case may be. But now you're just pressing the record button. That's just a big difference. And maybe it's a little weird just to look into a camera and stuff like that. But get comfortable with it, because once you get over that fear, it's called flight or fight. That's what it's called, flight or fight. You know, you start getting the cotton mouth, the hands start sweating. It's actually an auto response to protect you from getting harmed. But unfortunately, you know, society embeds this in us, and that's why we're not able to live to our full potential, because we think if I get on the stage, I'm in front of 5,000 people, something's going to happen to us. I'm afraid that if I do this seminar, something's going to happen to me. So it's something that is like a throttle. Don't throttle yourself. Let fear take a back seat, and be authentic. That's all.
I agree with you, Chino. So, guys, Chino has mentioned has one of the traits that all my guests has in the show, and that's why they are building well through what they do, which is they're being passionate about what they do, and they love to share with people so others grow. So they are not wanting everything for themselves. They want you to grow. They want you to learn. Reach out to Chino. You need a professional coach. Listen, when you want to be the best speaker out there, you go with a coach. If you want to be the best singer, you go with a coach. If you want to be the best actor, you go with a coach.
Yes.
Whatever you want to do, if you want to be the best realtor, you go with a coach. If you want to be the master of social media and dominate social media, go with a coach. This is an amazing guy. Remember, guys, you're gonna build, you're gonna have presence, you're gonna build trust that is gonna drive revenue, and that's the end goal. Very important. And on top of that, follow what others are doing that is giving results. Follow what you're doing that is giving results. If you get that post and that post have the 100 views and that post have the 200 views,
Double up.
double up on that post, because the people like that post. Don't be afraid to start. You know, when I started Chino, I was afraid that I don't look like this guy. I look Hispanic and I have this heavy accent. Everybody knows how I look. Everybody knows how I sound, and they're watching us right now because they found something interesting.
Yeah.
And I continue to grow and I continue to learn. As I grow, I learn new things that I do that I can improve. And I learn about the things that I don't do right, and I apply the ones that I can do better. So I would like to also ask you, Chino, one thing that I meant to ask you before we get disengaged on social media.
Sure.
Creating your own brand. How important is that? And we already mentioned that you want to be your own. That is nothing that sells more than be your own.
Right.
Give us a couple tips on how to create a successful brand on your own. What people should do to enhance that what they have. If they're Hispanics, if they're African Americans, they're Americans. I mean, what should people look for?
Right.
In order to enhance that image that they have right now and others to like it.
Right. So the way that you do that, once again, you don't reinvent the wheel. You kind of take a look at what's working for you now, and in a sense also double up on that. So what works for me, I'll give you an example, right? I'm not going to do something out of the box that I've never tried to hope to throw a Hail Mary. It's the same, right? In football, I'm just going to throw the ball, hope that I'm going to get a touchdown, right? What has been working for me is networking, okay? Podcasts, okay? You know, getting involved with nonprofit foundations, things of that nature, right? So whatever, you have to make a list on what's working for you now, and you're going to amplify that. You're going to amplify that. Because once again, we're not reinventing the wheel. All we're doing is turning up the volume on this, right? So more people, if it's already getting engagement, that means it has value. So if it has value, you just want to turn up and distribute it more so people are more engaging. 3 E's of marketing: education, engagement, and entertainment. A lot of people like to entertain,
Yes.
right? A lot of people like to tell jokes, or they do fun TikToks. There's so many platforms, okay? Test them all out. I like to A/B test, okay, and see what works, right? Once again, double down. You have to test everything out, especially if you're new to it and you haven't done anything. Once again, you want to emulate something that's working on the internet now. Test it. If it doesn't work, move to the next thing, and that is the best way to approach, how you can blow up your brand.
Be passionate, guys, about what you do. That's the most important trait that I see on all my guests. Remember to put yourself out there. Doesn't matter how you look, doesn't matter how you sound. Start with a coach to give you some advice. Don't be afraid of the camera. And remember, create content that people that doesn't know you start following you, and you earn their trust, and then you drive revenue.
Absolutely.
Guys, every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m., Building Wealth with Mauricio Viecco. Today, our amazing guest, Roger Chino Cordoba. Love you, brother. Thanks for coming, and thanks for sharing amazing knowledge to all the viewers. See you guys.